Hello, Durud and Shalom. Hi, everyone. Make sure you like the stream so we could get started. So, guys, Israel is now giving there's a lot of Western media outlets that doing a lot of analysis that shows that Israel is ready to go for the kill. Israel has a lot of more information is coming out of the 12-day war that Israel did in Iran. And it's fascinating to see how the information is increasing the confidence of what Israelis now think that they're capable of doing in Iran, and why this is actually giving them the conclusion that one way or another they have to go back to Iran and basically finish the job. I see we already got a super chat. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that, guys. Make sure you like the stream. I'm gonna try to keep it engaged with the chat. I'm gonna try to pay attention to you guys in the chat and respond to you guys. I see Amir is here. I see Mortal Wombat is here. Fantastic. Oh, Mortal Wombat. I should make you an admin, I think, right? Yeah, let me actually make Mortal Wombat an admin. Moderator. There we go. Fantastic. All right, good. Jack is here. Jack is saying, "Oh, let me actually respond to something that Jack said before I go to the points." I see the super chat, but before I see this, respond to Jack's super chat, I want to respond to this because Jack said previously you said assassinating Khamenei would be bad as it would make him a martyr. What made you change your mind? What changed my mind is at that time that I said this, the regime still had enough support among the hardliners that taking out Khamenei would at that point would have emboldened them, would have actually be a net benefit for their movement, for their whole what we call the Arzashi people, the hardliners, right? However, right now, what has changed is that because of the three humiliations, as I call it, the regime's inability to enforce the job laws, the regime's not being able to take a strong stance against the United States and actually doing negotiations with the killer of Qasem Soleimani, and the most importantly, the humiliation of the regime against Israel has made a lot of hardliners turn on each other, and the popularity of Khamenei has been reduced even among hardliners to the point that now I'm not worried about that effect anymore. I think Khamenei, like guys, first of all, when I was even when I said that before, I could see that Khamenei was becoming less and less popular even among hardliners. For example, there were some Basijis that were reporting that when they go to other Basiji people's houses, they see less pictures of Khamenei's in people's houses. And that was a couple of years ago. But today I could tell you that I actually watched some shows from some hardliners in Iran talking about the fact that some hardliners for very first time are actually openly criticizing Khamenei. So if you don't know what happened, Khamenei just recently came out of his hole, and he talked about how important it is to respond to your enemy with your military force and also with diplomacy. Basically, leaving the door for diplomacy open, which now a lot of hardliners are seeing as weak. Is unbelievable. This is the first time I'm seeing some hardliners actually creating programs criticizing Khamenei, which is unheard of. I've never seen this before. So this is why I'm not worried about the murder effect that much. I think that the taking out Khamenei now is a huge signal to everybody in Iran that the game is over. So that's why that's different. So that's what has changed. His popularity, his power has changed. That's what has changed. Okay, so the chat is already very busy, which is great. Let me actually make sure that I pay. I'm going to respond to your super chat later because I want to keep it on the topic, but I will respond to it soon. Yes, Arthur. I agree with Arthur in the chat. Okay, so yeah, Heavy Gürtel is saying, "Ooh, spicy." Exactly, and also Heavy Gürtel is saying, "Like the stream." Yes, exactly. So, guys, let me explain to you. A couple of things happened during the 12-day war that is now making Israel change its policy regarding what they are planning to do in Iran and what their policy is in Iran. Okay, so Netanyahu just recently did a Fox News interview that reflects all the shift in strategy. So the regime collapse in Iran, regime change in Iran was something that A lot of people in Israel, would have welcomed if it happened, but it wasn't. They weren't actually going for it to make it happen. Now, because of the results of the 12-day war, that has changed. And you could see that in the way that many Israeli politicians like Gallant, Katz, and Netanyahu are speaking. You could see that uh, they are basically going for the kill. Let me just give you some examples of what has happened recently. What we a lot of Western media and also Israeli media is covering this. I already talked about this talked about this on the channel a couple of days ago, but I want to go into it a little bit deeper right now. Okay, because I'll give you a couple of examples. The first example is regarding the F-15 fighter jet that was in Israel, and something happened. Something went wrong. So during the 12, sorry, it was in Iran, in Iranian airspace, right in the middle of the country. I already talked about this a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember. So this is example number one. I'm gonna give you a couple of examples as to give for you to have a better understanding of how humiliating the 12-day war was for the Islamic Republic, and how Israel has a new understanding of what it's capable of doing inside Iran. The first example is regarding this Israeli F-15 fighter jet, and something happened with this was in the middle of the war. Let me actually, so the whole operation, by the way, Netanyahu came, the attack, which is some people call it the 12-day war, but let's actually refer to it as Operation Rising Lion, because that's what Israel is calling it. And Netanyahu actually came and confirmed finally what we all thought, what we all were guessing for why they called it the Operation Rising Lion. Do you guys know why they call it Operation Rising Lion? Do you know why Israel is called the 12-day war Operation Rising Lion? Do you guys know? Do you guys like the okay? This is so apparently Netanyahu was talking. Yes, the Lion of Iran, exactly. He came and confirmed that this is about repaying a debt to the Iranian people regarding Iran, um, basically saving the Jews under Cyrus the Great, and now it's the time for Israel to save the Iranian people. So the idea, the rising lion is actually the lion is Iran. So they named the military operation after the idea of Iran could actually become great again, the Iranian people could become great again, and the lion of Iran will rise again. Yeah, Neil Bunny Singh is poetic. Yeah, and of course, so this is the actual true flag of Iran with the lion on it. So it is very poetic, and I really enjoyed that. We finally got confirmation that it had something to do with that. Anyways, let's go back to the what happened in the middle of Operation Rising Lion. An Israeli F-15 fighter jet flying over Iran had a problem with its fuel tank during the operation. It's interesting because I'm talking about how everything went well for Israel, but the example that I'm giving you is with something went wrong with it for an Israel. Like, why? How is this an example of Israel just winning, like crazy? This story starts with actually a failure of an Israeli F-15 fighter jet. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you guys know what I'm referring to? So, like, I hope a lot of you have already heard of the story. So when this happened, apparently at that point it seemed like that the pilot needs to eject, and the pilot ejecting means that he or she has to land on Iran's land, and he would get arrested. And guys, imagine if that happened. So the pilot didn't have enough fuel because there was a technical error. It could not actually access the fuel that it has, or something like that. And it would have to eject. And imagine we would be right now if we had to go over this pilot being arrested by the regime. Like, imagine the news coverage of this, and imagine the in Israel you would have people, there would be disagreements there would be political pushback regarding, oh, you shouldn't have done this, bring our pilot back home. maybe they might have been more protesters against the regime. It will be messy, and then we will be like from the end of that war until now, we will constantly be having news regarding what Israel is doing to bring that pilot back home. And imagine what the regime would do regarding that pilot going around and bragging about, oh my God, we got a pilot. I mean, even right now, they're acting like they won the war. But imagine if they actually managed to get their hands on an Israeli pilot, it would have been crazy. Like they would be using that as a way to suggest to all the axis of resistance, all the leftists and Islamists around the world, like, look, we got an Israeli pilot, and basically they will bring it on TV, interview him or her constantly, and basically try to humiliate Israel like that. So it's very good that that did not happen. But why it did not happen? This is the interesting part of the story. Why did this not happen? Somebody's saying he would have probably landed in U.S. base in Iraq. No, what I've heard is that he would have needed to eject while he was inside Iran. So the reason why it did not happen, let me actually read this. Okay. So because what do you call those planes that carry the fuel, refueling? One of those planes that do the refueling mid-air. Let me actually show you a picture. Yeah, let me actually upload a picture. Tankers. Okay, they're called tankers. Yeah, let me see if I could actually. Yeah, you see that picture? So this is how it's done. So mid-air, you get a tanker, and then you refuel the plane mid-air. Okay. So the thing about these tankers are they're not. They basically you could observe them with radar, right? They are easily detectable by radar. They're not stealth in any way. They're huge. They're very slow. They're big. And they have to fly low, so you don't like you could actually see them probably with a naked eye. So they are very, very, very easy to hit. This is why Israel actually doesn't bring its tankers into hostile territory, because even the most basic air defense could actually take them out easily with no problem. So this is why the Operation Rising Lion is actually even possible because of the fall of Assad. Because before the fall of Assad, operations like this were very difficult because Syria was hostile territory. Air defenses could actually take out these tankers in air. So if Israel wanted to attack the Islamic Republic, these tankers would have to not enter like Syrian airspace, so which make this entire operation very difficult. But when they wanted to do the Operation Rising Lion, because now that Assad has fallen and the airspace of Iraq and Syria are open to the Israeli tankers to be able to go whatever they want in that area, because there's no air defense in those areas. So that's what the fall of Assad made Operation Rising Lion possible. But obviously, these tankers would come to the border of Iran. They would not enter Iranian airspace because it would be so easy to take them out. They would just be basically stay hovering around the borders of Iran, and the fighter just would do what they need to do. They will come to the border, they get refueled, and they will come back and then do their operations again. That's how it works, right? You cannot actually go to the hostile territory because it's really easy to take out the tankers. However, this operation, what it shows is that the tanker actually came into the middle of Iran. Like, I don't know how to tell you why that is crazy. The fact that the tanker actually managed to come into Iranian airspace and basically refuel this F-15 that was having some technical difficulties. Yeah, basically, exactly. Amir saying incredible, right in the middle. Yeah, basically that means that Israel was they took out the Islamic Republic's air defense so much that it was safe for this giant, big, slow uh, plane that any air defense. I mean, I'm pretty sure if they picked up a shoe and throw at it, it would it would actually, this tanker came in all the way into the middle of Iran, refueled the F-15, and then went back. So that's how this plane was saved. The fact that this happened, it meant that the Iranian air defense basically did not exist. It was completely neutralized for a tanker to be able to just come in, do the refueling, and then go away. That's how. So this is just one example to show how humiliating this was for the Islamic Republic, right? I don't know if it's because did they not detect it at all, or they could detect it but they just didn't have anything to hit it with. But Israel knew, like Israel actually sent their tanker in knowing that it would be safe for them, so they must have had the information that this is going to be okay. So that's one example. Let me actually give you another uh, analysis that I'm seeing being shared on mainstream media outlets analyzing the 12-day war. So apparently, the information eventually came out after the 12-day war that Israel had anticipated that during this war, they would lose 10 fighter jets. I saw in Jerusalem Post actually referring to this. This is the information eventually came out that before they started this war, Israel predicted that they would be losing 10 fighter jets in this fight. What was the actual number? 0. So this actually is very significant because that means that this attack was so significant for Israel, that so important for them to do so, that even though their estimates showed that they're going to lose 10 fighter jets, they were still going for it. Well, now that they're saying that they actually managed to lose no fighter jets, they're going to be very eager to go back in before the Islamic Republic rebuilds its air defense. Another fact is that the Israeli army, the Israeli intelligence, their estimation was that they are going to achieve air superiority, air dominance, basically complete control over Iran's airspace after 7 days. 7 days after the beginning of the war. That was their estimate. But what actually happened is that they managed to do that within 3 days. No, in 7 days, that's what they thought. So they managed to do it in 3 days, what they thought is going to take them 7 days. So this is, and more importantly, apparently Israel's estimation was that they are going to be losing, because of this war that is starting, their Operation Rising Lion, 400 to 500 Israelis are going to die. I heard 2 different numbers, 400 or 500 numbers. They thought that the Islamic Republic is going to retaliate with ballistic missiles, and within Israel, around 4 to 500 people will die. Yeah, so Amir is saying yes, something like that. But what happened was that in Israel, I think 28 or 29 people, I think 29 people died. So Israel's estimate was 400 to 500. But what actually happened was 29 people, 29 Israelis died. Correct me, guys. I heard some Israeli tell me that right before the war, you got messages on your phones or somewhere that Israel, like the government, from the government telling you that, we're going to be going into this war and this is important. We're going to be paying a heavy price, but we will come out winning. On the other hand, like, what is it? Is that true? Like, I heard some people telling me for Israel that they're getting a message from Israel telling everybody to get ready from something like that. Amir saying I didn't get any messages. Okay. Oh yeah, somebody saying the messages were alarming. Oh yeah, so somebody saying yes in 3 a.m. So somebody saying yes, they got it. Yeah, I remember some of my Israeli friends saying that they got a message like that. So yeah, somebody saying yeah, they got it in 3 a.m. Yes, in the app. Okay, so Amir is saying okay. Okay, somebody saying like the stream. Yes, please, guys, like the stream so that more people seeing it. So it seems like Israel thought, because this actually shows that Israel genuinely believed that the threat of the Islamic Republic is so great that this is going to be a huge cost that they're going to pay for it, and a lot of civilians in Israel are going to die. But they have no choice. They have to. The threat of Islamic Republic is imminent, and they have to do it. They have to stop it, and they have to stop it now. Here's an interesting thing. So obviously, I don't want to dismiss the importance of those 29 people dying. Obviously, every single one of those is a tragedy. Oh, somebody in the chat is saying, "I love your work." Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Among the 29 people who died, I think there was only one person that was like a part of the military, but they weren't serving at that time. So among active, there was the 29 were all civilians. No, like none of them was active military combatants, right? So this means that this is from the very beginning of Israel, from the very first day of Israel. So Israel has participated in many wars to defend itself, and it has paid a heavy price in every single one of them. Never has Israel managed to win a battle by by paying this low of a cost. Again, I'm not trying to dismiss the importance of the lives of those 29 people. I'm just comparing it to every other war that Israel has participated in, as that has been involved with, right? This is the first world war that Israel has been in and won without losing a single active military fighter or soldier. This one single, like this is the most. This I hope Israelis in the chat understand that this has been the most successful military operation in Israel's history. Not just because of how successful the results were, but also because of how little the cost was. Like, give me another war that Israel has managed to win without while paying such a low price. Not a single soldier, not a single active soldier died. This has never happened. Okay, I'm going to change what I said. I said this is the greatest victory in the history, in the military history of Israel. But honestly, I think this is the greatest. This has been the greatest military victory in the history of all modern warfare. Like, can we? Does anything else even come close? Yes, exactly. Boris saying there hasn't been a war in history with such a result ever. Exactly. Do you guys understand? You got like Israelis, you keep breaking records, and this is the greatest record of them all so far. So this is why it's so fascinating to us Iranians to watch in Iran, watching the pro-regime people acting like they humiliated Israel in this fight. They still do that, by the way, guys. Like when I do the Persian live stream, the pro-regime people come in the chat and they're like, "We humiliated Israel. Our missiles destroyed Israel. This was like we didn't lose much, and Israel lost everything." And they come and they say it with such confidence, it's unbelievable. Because I mean, I don't understand how they still believe that. On their side, around 50 of their highest officials, like not just so on the Israeli side, we didn't lose a single soldier. On the Islamic Republic side, it's not just soldiers, it's that all of I'm not exaggerating, all all of the highest military officials of the Islamic Republic were taken out. Not most, all. Do you understand this? Never. This is again. That by itself is a record. Show me a war that you go in and within a few days you don't take out some of their generals, you don't take out some of their key peoples, you take out all of them, all of the highest officials. There is not a single top high leader of IRGC that was left. Every single heads of IRGCs that are left are second level, third level, fourth level. All the first level IRGC generals and commanders, they were all taken out. this is insane. So Israel didn't lose a single soldier, and the Islamic Republic lost not just soldiers, but the most important people in the country. This is like, guys, like, I think we have still not digested how crazy, how historic this was. Like the 12 days that just went by in the Operation Rising Lion, every single second of it is going to be studied, and university professors in military schools and everywhere are going to be analyzing every single second of this in classrooms and in studies for decades to come as the most historic successful operation in history. So Jack is saying US didn't lose a single soldier in the operation to kill bin Laden, but Israel's operation was bigger. Yeah, so the US one, that was not a war. That was just only like that was like an assassination. That was just a commando type, like, I don't know what they're called, like basically a strike. So I mean, that was good. That was obviously very masterful, but that wasn't a war. This was the 12-day war. So you cannot categorize taking out bin Laden as war, as successful as that was, right? So okay, so we had 0 fighter jets were lost. 29 people died on the Israeli side. No soldiers or pilots were killed. This is unexpectedly low damage. This unexpectedly low damage convinced Israel's leadership that the Islamic Republic's threats are much weaker than feared. It showed that a full-scale Israeli strike on the Islamic Republic can succeed without serious blowback. Again, this is, guys, very important, because this means that Israel, it makes no, like, think about it. It makes no sense for Israel not to go back in and finish the job. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Nothing, like, why would that happen? Like, right now, like, everything suggests that Israel is going to go back in and finish the job. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but it just doesn't make. This is the main threat to Israeli people, and now the Islamic Republic is butt naked. You should just go in and just finish the job. Let me see. Bar is saying, try asking an ununiformed, what? Sorry, uninformed. Sorry, I don't know. I'm this too for. Try asking an uninformed AI about this. It's funny. Am I reading this right? What is AI doing there? Like, somebody help me out here. Uninformed AI about this. It's funny. Most AIs won't agree such a result can happen in a battle because happen in a battlefield between nations in modern warfare. What is that? Is that uninformed? Guys, I'm pretty sure I'm reading this wrong. Can somebody help me? Are you talking about like like AI, like chat GPT? Okay, let me actually try asking an uninformed AI about this. It's funny, most AIs won't agree such a result can happen in a battle between nations in modern warfare. I mean, which AI are you asking? I ask AI these things. Okay, so you are referring to artificial intelligence. Okay. Because I thought, like, what does that? Okay, so I don't know what are you using? Are you using 4.0? Obviously, if you use 4.0, okay, so you're saying any AI. So try switching to reasoning models, because I get better answers when I switch to reasoning models. If you ask ChatGPT 4.0, what 4.0 does is just gathers information that it's on the web and just just basically give out opinions that are online around the internet and just feed that back into you, right? No, yeah, you're saying Bar saying with reasoning it's also looking online. Yes, but it actually evaluates if you turn the reasoning model on, if you switch to O3, it looks at the credibility of the source that it's using. It actually thinks about it. Oh, that's why you say that's why I said uninformed. Okay, okay, yes, yeah. It's getting. I mean, like you, but it's getting better. Like honestly, like the fact that it's even answering you anything is kind of extraordinary compared to what we had 2 years ago. Like just the O3 models, when you switch to O3, the results are a lot better, and I'm pretty sure by a year from now, it's going to be the answers that it's going to give is going to be better than almost any analyst. Yeah, but you're right. If you say uninformed, um, that means that basically the models without you. If you mean by if by uninformed it means that you the models, the lower models that you don't use reasoning. That's why I don't trust it. This is why every time I want to do, I use AI to evaluate something for me. I use O3 first, and then I use 4.0 to basically write it in a nicer way for me to read. So I start with O3, and then once it gets all the information, then I'll switch to 4.0, and then like, okay, turn that into a nice write up for me so I could read it properly. Because the O3 model, whenever it gives me answers, it just puts it in charts, and it's hard to read that. I just want to go from the beginning to end. So I just use 4.0 to switch it to another model. Let me actually see what Jack is saying. Jack is saying, can you do a stream? Thank you, Jack, for the super chat. Saying, can you do a stream on the UK labeling Palestine Action a terrorist group? Oh yay! We forgot to do a stream celebrating that. That was important. Is it too late to cover that? Is it important, guys? Do you guys want me to cover that? It's now criminal to express support for it. Analyzed from a free speech purpose. Okay, so let me actually just tell you really quickly. Um, I don't like any form of. Obviously, I'm a free speech advocate, but I'm also if and I also favor consistency, right? So if you have in the UK, it doesn't make sense. Like if you have certain speech, certain groups are labeled as terrorist groups. Obviously, anything that is anti-Israeli or anything that has Palestine in its name should also be considered a terrorist group, right? So, yeah, if you, from a free speech perspective, you have to let them all say whatever they want. But as soon as you have any limitations to free speech, then you have to be consistent with it. That's the easy take. Here, I'll just give you my take right now. Yes, I'm a free speech advocate. They should all be free to be able to say whatever they want. But as soon as you allow any limitation, then you have to go after these motherfuckers as well. Like, how do you not? These are the worst of the worst. So I already answered that. Does that make sense? Oh, Amir saying yes, please. It's never too late. Okay. Yes, please stream about that. So maybe I should cover that. Yeah, I believe in free speech, but in a country that doesn't have free speech to the level of the US, then it makes no sense for you to allow terrorist groups. Oh yes, so Jack is saying yes, that makes sense. Oh, Vic is saying, by the way, Armin, please do a personal stream on ChatGPT translating British RP voices into Welsh. Not so funny when life and death decisions need to be made. What? I don't know what you're saying. Too much of anything is not good. No, I believe I'm a free speech maximalist. I'm not a free speech absolutist. I am a free speech maximalist. But I also think that you should be consistent with your laws. Yeah, fighting in South Syria continues. Yeah, I told you guys. I told you guys that the ceasefire. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think it's going to hold the ceasefire in Syria. It took hours after I said that for the ceasefire to broke apart. Like right after I finished the stream saying, like, guys, I don't think the ceasefire is going to hold, and then it basically broke apart like just hours after I said that. Let me see. Okay, so let me actually go over some things that Netanyahu said. So Netanyahu's doctrine: the regime must go. So Netanyahu, based on the results, based on all the amazing results of the 12-day war, the many politicians within Israel, and again, it seems like Israeli people are also more supportive of Israel finishing the job in Iran. Again, it seems like there's a lot of division in Israel. Correct me if I'm wrong, regarding the Gaza situation because of the hostages. This is why I'm so happy that the Islamic Republic didn't manage to get any hostages from Israel. But it seemed like within Israel, regarding Gaza, there is some disagreements and infighting, right? But with regards to the Islamic Republic, it seems like there's a lot of support for the government to just go finish the job in Iran. Do Israelis in the chat agree? Yes. Okay. Oh, somebody's asking about Reza Pahlavi. I was thinking my next stream should be on Reza Pahlavi because he came out and said if you gave a speech recently. I think I should analyze that. Generally, yes. Agree. Yeah, so okay, so it seems like there's a lot more unity in Israel regarding actions that need to be taken against the Islamic Republic. And with regards to Gaza, it seems like the disagreements is mostly because of the hostages. Oh yeah, so Amir saying yes, okay. So what this means is that Israel has both the military capital and the political capital to finish the job in Iran, meaning that the only thing that we need is U.S. support. Right? So there's Israel requires three things to topple this to help Iranian people topple the Islamic Republic. What? A political capital, which means that Israeli people support. Israel is a democracy, so it requires a political capital from the Israeli people to go that. Military capital. The 12-day wars showed Netanyahu and the IDF that the military capital is way more than enough to help topple the regime. So, and when it comes to U.S. support, thanks to the whole Epstein situation and also the Fordo disagreements, now the MAGA is basically doing it mostly because of the Epstein situation right now, where MAGA is basically breaking up with Trump, and Trump is going more to the direction of the neocons. So it's likely that we're going to get a green light from Trump as well. So things are looking good, guys. Things I think maybe I should maybe pack my bags now, maybe go get ready for a flight to Iran. Like the regime might fall soon. Oh, Amir saying Epstein, yeah. Amir, did you not see my previous stream regarding how the Epstein situation is helping us get a green light from United States? The Jeffrey Epstein situation. Did you guys not watch that? So go to my stream from 2 nights ago. Oh, Amir saying I missed that. Yeah, I did a stream from 2 nights ago called Trump, Epstein, and Israel: the conspiracy that's tearing MAGA apart. So go watch that because that explains why um, the Jeffrey Epstein situation is helping us get a green light for Israel to go and finish the job in Iran. Hey, we got another super chat. Asian American saying they need to hurry before the midterms. I fear most in America don't understand the nuance in West Asia. Oh, by West Asia, you mean the Middle East? West Asia. You're referring to the Middle East as West Asia? That's interesting. Okay, guys. So West Asia is apparently another name for the Middle East. It all depends on your point of reference. Okay. Yes, but I like I like. Should we call the Middle East West Asia? Oh, Sean is saying, wait, but aren't the neocons bad? Can you do a quick explain? Okay, the neocons are not bad or good. We have good neocons, we have bad neocons. Depends which one you're talking about. I don't know if you could categorize him as a neocon, but my favorite American politician is Marco Rubio. There are different versions of neocons. Which ones are you talking about? But no, they're not necessarily bad. Why are they bad? They're on our. They're the base right now. They are on our side. The neocons are the ones who want United States to support Ukraine more and support Israel more. So Why would we? That's fantastic. I mean, some of them have weird reasons for it. We have better reasons for it. But depending on which neocon you're talking about, some of them have bizarre reasons for why they want that. But as long as they're supporting the same thing as we are supporting, I mean, yeah, Marco. Someone saying Marco is love. Okay, yeah, he has good reasons. So let me actually go over the list of. So Netanyahu, in his interview with Fox, basically confirmed that they are trying to get rid of the regime as a whole. They're hoping for the Iranian people to make the decision and rise up. And basically, he sees the 12-day war and the second. He said basically second and third war might come as well. And he says that as a way to weaken the regime. He confirmed. By the way, guys, he basically confirmed the things that I was telling you on our streams. So Netanyahu, because on our stream during the 12-day war, I kept on telling you that the first of all, I predicted that the exact sequence of what they're going to go for. So I said first they have to go for the air defense. Second, they have to go for the nuclear sites and also the missile launchers. And then after that, they have to go and target some of the um, Marines, some of the basically some of the threats that the Islamic Republic could cause to the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, and then they have to start focusing on the units, the forces in Iran that are meant to topple to push back against riots against the Iranian people if they come into the streets, and then also after that Khamenei, and basically it happened exactly. The sequence of the attacks by Israel was basically a copy of what I was suggesting that it will happen, and we were basically in the phase that they were targeting the anti-riot people and forces when Trump came and stopped the war. Wait, we've got two super chats. I will respond to them, right? So I'm really proud of my predictions. I also predicted within hours after the beginning of the war that the only person that could stop the war, that might stop this war, is Trump. A lot of people didn't understand why I'm saying that, but eventually that happened exactly like I said, which is actually I was actually kind of shocked regarding that prediction coming true, right? And now Netanyahu in this Fox interview is confirming that the plan, like again, like I said, the plan is to weaken the Islamic Republic to the point where the Iranian people could come finish the job, right? I see two super chats. I will respond to them, but let me actually finish this up because this is important, right? A lot of people might have this misunderstanding that the Iranian people should come out into the streets at the time that these attacks are happening. Okay. And that's not, I don't think that's how it works, right? I think there needs to be a distance between it. So you have to think about it like this. First of all, you don't want the Iranian people to come out during the war. You don't want them to come out maybe not even a little bit after the war, because you don't want them to be acting like they are doing a protest in line with Israel's attack. So I think the way that this is going to needs to work is for Israel to come do whatever it needs to do and then paralyze the regime and then go out and then wait because a little bit, because I think the way that you could envision this is not like, oh, we're doing the bombardments and then the Iranian people will come out into the streets right away. The way is like, think about it as like a crack, like the Israel comes and puts a crack into this dam that is the Islamic Republic, right? And then it goes, and the crack by itself right at the beginning is not going to make the whole thing fall apart, but when it leaves, the amount of infighting, the lot of power, like the lot of backstabbing and all of the power struggles, because when Israel comes in and takes out some of these people and leaves, it leaves a power vacuum. And right now, as we're speaking, there's a lot of infighting within the Islamic Republic for to fill these power vacuums, right? And basically, it's the crack is going to grow, and the Islamic Republic is going to get weaker and weaker, and then it will eventually, as long as there is a little bit of a distance, so that the Iranian people are coming out in the streets in response to the weakening of the Islamic Republic, not actually directly in response to the attacks. But this is how I think would be the ideal way for this to happen, right? So don't think like, oh, there was just a bombardment and then the next day people are going to come into the streets. That's not how this works, I think, right? We'll see. So let me actually respond to the two super chats. Shauna is saying West Asia is a better term, to be honest. Yeah, but I like West Asia, but the problem with that is that most people might not know what you're talking about. And Sean is saying, I like Rubio, but in general, I have heard bad things about neocons, although I was a libertarian before. Yeah, I mean, I'm a libertarian too, to some extent, but libertarianism doesn't mean no government doing nothing. I think a lot of people misrepresent what libertarianism means. And a lot of libertarians, like, I think a lot of libertarians are actually just anarcho capitalists pretending to be libertarians. Like they want just the government to do nothing. Like the libertarianism means minimum government involvement. Like one of as a libertarian myself, I want the government to be reduced to very few things, including the protection of your people. I want the government to not spend on other things so it could spend more on its army because that's the government job. I want my government to stop meddling in things that private industries can do so it actually has more money left to actually spend on a giant military. That's because that's what the government is supposed to do. But libertarian is like, oh, I want to not spend on the military as well. Like, what are you talking about? That's the one thing. That's one of the things that the government should actually be doing. Oh, Heavy Gretel agrees with me. Yeah. Yeah, I want less government in some areas so that the government has enough money to give me a massive army, a great justice system, a really advanced police. These are the ones. These are the places I want my government. I want smaller government in those areas, so I could have a bigger government in these areas. Yes, exactly. Heavy Gretel. I want the government to protect the population. Yes. So I think a lot of people miss the point of libertarianism. I want my government to save money so it has enough money to spend on protecting us. Yeah. So Gasian American is saying West Asia saves binary letter and space. I'm being eco-friendly. Eco-friendly. How does it say saves binary letter? I don't understand. West Asia, Middle East. Oh, okay. Middle East. Okay, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but again, we have to. I try to use words that when I that actually works because the whole point of using words is so that people understand what you're saying. And if I say West Asia and people don't understand me, then the word is not doing its job. Even if it's a better word, if it's not doing the whole point of words is communication. So if somebody doesn't understand what I'm referring to, then the word is not doing its job. Oh, he just says there are fewer letters. Thank you for translating to me that for me again. I don't. Sometimes I don't understand what Cajun is saying. All right, so Netanyahu came out and explained his intentions. He basically made it very clear that the regime must go. However, he also said that if there is supposed to be a negotiation, then for the negotiations to be agreed upon, like for us to agree to come to an agreement with the Islamic Republic, there needs to be three conditions. And before I read these three conditions to you, let me actually read these three conditions to you and let me ask you why I think this is equal to toppling the regime. Okay? Let me know if you guys you answer me first before I answer. Okay. You tell me why you think I think this is basically the same as toppling the regime. So Netanyahu said, like, okay, we're going for the kill. We want to maybe weaken the regime to the point that the Iranian people will basically come in and basically do the regime change themselves. And he constantly says that it's up to the Iranian people, which is right. I like that Netanyahu keeps saying that, right? So he says the three conditions for agreeing to to come to an agreement in these negotiations is one, no uranium enrichment, two, no ballistic missiles over 300 miles, that's 480 kilometers, I think, and three, no more proxy terrorist groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, Kataeb, Zainabiyun, Fatimiyun, and all of that. Okay? Why do you think? I think that's basically the same as asking for regime change. Do you know why? Okay, Amir is saying, I don't like Bibi, but I agree with him on that. Yeah, okay, yeah, so yeah, by the way, Israel is in the chat. How many of you like Bibi and how many of you don't? I mean, even if you don't like him, you have to admit he has been has he not been great since October 7th? Like I have criticisms for Bibi, but all my criticisms for Bibi is pre-October 7th. Oh, UV saying can't stand Bibi. Jewish Samantha is saying I hate him. Well, do you have like what do you not like about what he has done after October 7th? Oh my god, a lot of you hate him. I hate Bibi. I like him. I mean, do you agree that he has done a good job? Oh, so Carl is saying he is a snake. Jesus. Corrupt. Okay, so the corruption charges, guys, is that not over just like some cigars and some booze? Oh, somebody's saying I love Bibi. The Israeli Elad is saying he's terrible. Okay, he's terrible on what? Regarding the operations that he has done since October 7th. Hasn't he been good regarding that? Somebody's saying he handled Gaza terribly. He handled Gaza terribly. I mean, Hamas has been decapitated. Hamas, like most of the top leaders of Hamas are all gone. I mean, every single one of them are gone. Okay, yeah. So Jerusalem is saying he bribed the newspaper company. Yes, I know about that. That I'm on your side. Somebody saying it's genocidal. What genocide? I'm not saying any genocide. Israel. What genocide has Bibi done? Okay, so the criticisms I have for Bibi is maybe the bribery regarding that newspaper, and also allowing Qatar to send funds to Hamas to cause division between the PLO and the Hamas. So that didn't turn out to be working very well. So that was horrible. But with regards to what he did, he basically got rid of Hamas. He got rid of Hezbollah, and he's almost now getting rid of the Islamic Republic. Isn't that like amazing? Again, my criticism against him stands, especially regarding him allowing Hamas to get funded through Qatar. That was horrible. Somebody's saying, and he doesn't stop politicking. Well, I mean, he's a politician. That's what he's supposed to do. Jack is saying, amazing, yes, but there are still hostages in Gaza. Yeah, but that's an impossible situation. Like, there are hostages in Gaza. What is he supposed to do exactly? The priority, obviously, with regards to Gaza, the priority has to be eliminating the potential for October 7th to happen again. The secondary priority should be hostages, because if you allow anything like October 7th to happen again, you're going to be more hostages. So many times, freeing the hostages would require giving Hamas the ability to survive, and that should not. I agree with Netanyahu that should never be on the table. Okay, he banned Al Jazeera. I mean, Al Jazeera is shit, but I agree. Maybe that's something the free speech wise. Maybe I disagree with that. Yes. I mean, Al Jazeera is not even journalism; it's just a propaganda. Okay, so Al Jazeera. Maybe I will support banning Al Jazeera if Al Jazeera was reporting sensitive information from Gaza that was jeopardizing military operations. That's the only reason. If that would be the only thing that if that's the reason, then I would agree with him. But guys, anything else against Bibi? Like again, these are the two things I have against him: allowing Hamas to get funded through Qatar, and also bribing a newspaper. That's it. But his operations in Gaza, I think he has been really good. I know the hostages haven't been released, but again, every time the thing that he needed to do to get hostages released would have given Hamas a chance to survive. And again, I think I agree with him, Netanyahu, that he should not allow that. Prolonging the war, you mean prolonging the successful operations that are killing, that are decapitating the enemies of Israel? I mean, how this is a war that is ending many. I mean, Israel, look at the history of Israel. You have managed to bring peace through wars that crushed your enemies. You should want, like, as an Israel, if I was an Israeli, I would want this long to get prolonged, given that it's going so much in your favor. The longer this war is the more this war continues, the more your enemies are being eliminated. Like, why wouldn't you want to prolong this war? Like, imagine if this war didn't get after the attack on Gaza. Imagine if the war wasn't prolonged, then Hezbollah would be here today. And imagine if Hezbollah would still be here today, as powerful as it was before. Imagine if after we are done with Hezbollah, then you didn't prolong the war. The Islamic Republic wouldn't be as weak as it is today. So you should be appreciating the fact that this war got prolonged. Israelis have benefited so much from prolonging this war. Like, do you understand that this is like unimaginable, that so many of your enemies have been reduced to ashes in such a successful way, one after the other, in such a short amount of time? Like, nobody has ever done that. Like, all your enemies are basically lining up to get destroyed, and you want to stop that progress? Oh, somebody's saying, George is saying, it destroyed Israeli prestige internationally. Okay, when it comes to a matter of survival, fuck prestige. Who cares? Like, okay, so throughout the history of Israel, so you invest in trying to improve your image worldwide. That's important. But when you get a chance, every time you had a chance to eliminate your enemies, you got a hit. You got a major hit in your international standing. But you managed to take out one of your major enemies. And you need to be alive to have an international reputation anyways, right? You want survival is more important than having a proper image, right? So look at every time in history you managed to achieve a great victory, it came at the cost of losing some of your international standing. But it was worth it. It was worth it every single time. I mean, imagine if Israel just operated based on what the international community wanted in order to keep its prestige. I don't think if that was your policy, I don't think Israel would be a country right now. I don't think you would be alive. I don't think you would be speaking to me right now. Yeah, exactly. Bar is saying, who cares about prestige when your head is not attached to your body? Exactly. I mean, the point that you need the prestige to be able to get some support from your allies. I'm not saying it's not important, but at key moments, you need to spend that. At key moments, because you need international support so your allies keep supporting you. That's important for your survival. But when at key moments where your enemy, you have the chance to take out the people who want to eliminate you, even if you take a hit, you should basically you should take out your enemy. Amir is saying it's a balanced politics thing. Yes, exactly. But look at the results. By the way, I think Israel will recover from this, right? So let me actually tell you, when it comes to international prestige, it's not that bad. Yes, you might have been losing allies in support among Europeans and Americans, okay? But in the neighborhood, people are realizing your military dominance is convincing people in the region that they need to be an Israel ally. Like Israel's military superiority is convincing your many Arab countries and other countries around the region, like, okay, this Israel is the god of this region. We have to basically bend the knee. So you might lose some support in Europe and America and Canada, but in the region where it's actually sometimes a little bit more important, you're actually gaining more allies. And there's no way that we cannot. There's no way that we could, like, when you're this powerful with your military, you make friends in the region. Also, if you lose the Islamic Republic, if you manage to get rid of the Islamic Republic, you're going to be less dependent on Western support. You're still going to need Western support. Every country needs support from their allies, but it's going to be, the reliance on the United States, for example, is going to be less if there is no Islamic Republic. So why do we need the support of the Islamic Republic? Sorry, the support of United States, because you have an enemy like the Islamic Republic. So if the Islamic Republic is gone, even if the politics in the United States turns against you a bit, who gives a shit? You took out the most important threat to the Israeli people. So Jewish Samantha saying, why is BB's son in Florida and not in the IDF during the war? Again, I don't care about his son. You could, like, I mean, I don't know. Is this the same son that was basically posting something about cutting Iran into pieces? Because if that's him, then fuck him. I'm not defending his son. I'm basically talking about him after October 7th. I'm talking about Netanyahu himself, not his son. Thank you so much for the super chat. Adam is saying leftists, including Israeli leftists, can't accept anything less than utopia. This explains all left wing stances. Well, I mean, to be fair, the reason Israel is a great country is that it's a democracy where people criticize their politicians. So even if you don't agree with the criticisms and trying to hold the government responsible is the reason why liberal countries keep getting stronger and stronger. So even if you disagree with them, it's good that there is pressure on politicians. We should welcome the pressure, even if we disagree with it. So Jewish Samantha is saying, why were the women standing watching IDF not armed? I don't know anything about that. Maybe I would agree with you if I knew what you were talking about. Somebody saying Netanyahu is anti-democracy. That's the problem. Oh yeah, so I think anti-democracy is pushing it, but I maybe yeah. There's a third criticism I have for maybe Netanyahu's cabinet is that I do think for liberal countries the independence of the judiciary branch is important, and I think that Netanyahu is challenging their independence and allowing the Knesset to basically override them. Okay, so that's my third disagreement with um, Netanyahu. But I think not all of these are not as important as him basically doing everything to actually have Israel as a country. Like I do agree with that criticism against Netanyahu, but again, you need to have a country. You need to have a country. Survival is number one priority before all of this. But yeah, and he's doing so much. I mean, this you guys do understand that the survival of the chances of survival of Israel has dramatically increased in the past year or so because of the decapitation of Hamas, Hezbollah, and now maybe the Islamic Republic. So all of those criticisms, even the ones that are valid, you are in a much safer place right now. Like as Israelis, you have to have much less anxiety over the survival of your country compared to 2 years ago. I can't. I'm an Iran. I can't. Guys, can you see? I'm an Iranian talking to Israeli. Try defending Netanyahu. This is strange. Who would have thought that we would have a live stream by an Iranian trying to convince, trying to. It's bizarre. Somebody's saying you should work on your English, precisely on your accent. I think I'm understandable enough. I think people know what I'm talking about. Oh, Jerusalem is saying I love Armin. Oh, thank you. See, yes, we might disagree on Netanyahu, but it's just disagreement among friends, maybe. Yeah, we're friends. This is why I come here. Amir is saying, oh, thank you guys. This is sweet. I guess is my accent, is my English not understandable? I think you guys completely, I think my English is good enough for most people here. Oh, by the way, isn't the Netanyahu's cabinet now pushing for making the ultra orthodox join the military? Like that's I just saw that happen. Is that's something that I'm welcoming? Yeah, Vic is saying we all love Armin. Oh wow, thank you. And yes, we disagree sometimes. Why would anybody expect otherwise? Fantastic. Yes, and also Stephanie saying you can't really change your accent once you're an adult. Is my accent that bad? Like, I think my accent is fine. Oh, see, Jack is saying, Armin, your English is excellent. I would believe you if you said your native language. No, that's pushing it. Like it's obvious that I'm not a native speaker, but thank you. Where can people saying understand? Oh, thank you, Amir. That's sweet. Okay, Amir. Thank you, Amir and Birdman. Okay. Guys, let me know. Maybe we should do a live stream discussing Netanyahu and what I think he did right and what you guys think he did wrong after October 7th. Maybe we should do a stream evaluating that, okay? Like the good points, the bad points, right? Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got another super chat saying Armin is very comprehensible. Don't let the haters take your. Okay, well, now you're trying to make me. I don't even know how to say that one. So let me actually. Your accent away. You're just trying to. You're giving me hard words to point to show. Quaint. Your quaint accent away. Attractively unusuals or old fashioned. Okay. Okay, thank you. And I learned a new word. Your quaint accent away. Well, thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you for the super chat. Comprehensible. Oh, comprehensible. Oh, comprehensible. I read that wrong as well. Okay, sorry. So Stephanie saying I was bullied for my accent as a kid until I managed to change it and sound fully American. You don't need to sound fully American to. I hate accent bullies. No, just yeah. I managed to change my accent because I was still a kid, but once adult, it sticks. Yeah, but who cares? Like as long as we can exchange ideas, and I mean, even if I don't know a word or if I mispronounce it, you guys will point it out, and then the whole point is to communicate. And as soon as the you know what I have in mind gets through, that's the whole point. So sometimes I mispronounce a word, or sometimes I don't know a word. The whole point of language is to communicate. If we manage to find a way to communicate effectively, who cares about how it sounds? Or yeah, we'll figure it out. Especially given that we're live here together. So if I don't know a word, I'll just look it up. Or you guys will correct me if I mispronounce something. It's fine. Again, don't. If here's the thing, if the results, if you're getting the results that you want, people's opinions about what's happening is irrelevant. Like I'm saying the results are speaking, I'm getting the results that I want, right? So imagine, for example, that you're working towards something in your life that you really care about, and somebody comes and says, like, oh, why do you even want that? Right? And then you get upset because they have a negative opinion about what you're trying to achieve. Who gives a shit? You that Are you getting closer to what you want? So if you should you judge the results yourself. I'm getting closer to what I want. So basically it's the same thing here. My The results that I want is for me to come and share my ideas with you, and also get your ideas, get see what your ideas are, and learn from you, and we exchange ideas. If somebody doesn't like my accent, that doesn't have any effect on what I'm trying to achieve here. Asian American saying your English is fine, they are haters. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I just think that's a good attitude to have. Just think, like every time you hear somebody like hating on you or saying something negative, um, if it gets under your skin, just wait for a few seconds and ask yourself, is that opinion going to have any effect in me getting closer to my objectives? If, like, now that I know that opinion, will that opinion in any way have any effect on me getting closer to my objectives? And if not, then why the fuck am I getting upset? Right. I don't know. I think that's a good attitude to have over everything. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, sorry. Somebody saying, Armin, when are you coming to Israel? When somebody sponsors my travel expenses, because I'm trying to save money. Okay. If anybody invites me for a speech and says like they're gonna cover the flights and the hotel, okay, and maybe hopefully the food, then I will come. Okay, because I'm trying to save money for some important projects. With AI, I am have some business ideas. Okay. So that's why I'm not spending money on travel other than once a year that I travel with my wife. Other than that, I'm not going to travel. So if I'm going to go somewhere, it needs to be like an event that sponsors at least the travel expenses. No, somebody Muhammad is asking, isn't your passport Iranian? Nope. I have already been to Israel. My passport is Canadian. I mean, I have an Iranian passport, but I haven't renewed it, so it has expired. I mean, I don't need my Iranian passport given that I have a Canadian passport, but I will renew my Iranian passport if the Islamic Republic falls. And I can't wait for only because I want to have a passport with the lion and sun on it. Right now, my Iranian passport has the Allah symbol on it, but it would just be beautiful. I mean, my Canadian passport just gets me wherever I need to go. But if Iran falls, I will go renew my passport just for the sake of having a passport that has the lion and sun on it. Just for that, I will go renew my passport. Yes, not if, when. I mean, if it happens in my lifetime, that's what I mean. Okay, hopefully soon. Guys, it would be actually fun if I actually travel with my Iranian, because the current Iranian passport doesn't get you anywhere. Almost, it doesn't get you in many places without a visa. So it's not a very powerful passport. When my Canadian passport is very powerful, but I'm hoping like if the Islamic Republic falls and I do get I do get a passport under the new government, under the new um I would like, I think just for symbolic reasons, for emotional reasons, I want to maybe travel with that passport, with that new passport. I want to have a stamp on my new Iranian passport with this new government. So maybe I'll see. We'll see. Do you think that that passport will take me to Israel? By the way, when I traveled to Israel, they could see my Canadian passport that I was born in Tehran. So they took me to a room and um they basically talked to me for I waited for half an hour and they talked to me about half an hour about why I'm here, why I'm in Israel. They asked me about my father's name and for some reason about my grandpa's name. Guys, can you tell me why when I went to Israel? So I was with two Americans and I was a Canadian there, but my Canadian passport showed that I was born in Iran. So they went through with no problem, but they took me to a room and they asked me questions and they asked me why I'm here in Israel, and they were nice, they were very polite, and I told them they asked about my book, and they were looking my book up on Amazon, and one of them was buying it. So this book, the book, one of the people who were interrogating me regarding why I'm coming to Israel, they looked up my book on Amazon and they said they're going to order it. Okay, which is funny. This was in the airport in Tel Aviv, and they gave me a paper to write the name of my father and my grandfather for some reason. Anybody knows why? Can anybody to explain to me why they wanted to name the? And here's the thing: I don't know the name of my grandfather because my grandfather is his nickname was Papa, and I didn't know his real name, right? And so I picked up my phone, and I went on WhatsApp, and I messaged my dad, who's in Iran, and I like, hey dad, what was Papa's name? What was Papa's real name? And people like I was talking I'm like I told them like, hey, I'm talking to my dad, I'm trying to figure out what my grandpa's name is. And they're like, where is your dad? I said my dad is in Tehran. And they asked me like, wait, so you're actually talking to somebody in Iran right now? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is that okay? And they asked me like, wait, you're actually right now talking to somebody inside Iran? I'm like, yeah. Should I not? Like I got worried. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna send me back to Canada. So that was funny. That was oh my god. Okay, anybody knows why they wanted my grandpa's name? Oh no, somebody's asking if no, my dad is very proud of me. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm gonna head out. My grandpa, have a good saying. Tell us about your grandpa. My grandpa worked for British Petroleum in Iran during the Shah's time. Okay. Oh, some other people have heard it. To confirm the passport. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna hit that. Guys, please like the stream. Please subscribe. Oh, guys, when you subscribe, please make sure you hit the bell notification. If you're watching this on Twitter, please come over to YouTube at Atheist Republic on YouTube and subscribe to Atheist Republic on YouTube. But these types of live streams that are vertical, you're not you're not gonna see it on your main feed. So to get notification, make sure that when we go live, so make sure you hit the bell notification. The subscribe doesn't do much anymore. The subscribe button, they should just remove the subscribe button because it doesn't seem to do much. It's the bell notification that actually tells you when we're going live. So just click on that. Oh, also, guys, if you leave a comment, oh, we got another super chat. If you leave a comment, it's more likely that YouTube will inform you when we're going live. So somebody told me that. Tell people that to leave a comment just so that YouTube will tell you, and also helps with the algorithm. Oh my god, we got two super chats. Let me respond to these super chats. Ern is saying, I really like your show. Why you go to technical about tanker? You are wrong. Numbers matter. Why you dismiss the regional problem if regime collapse? I didn't dismiss the regional problem. We talked about it. Wait, I got you too technical. Why you go too technical about tanker? You are wrong. I mean, this is not even my analysis. I don't have any military expertise. I was just reading all of the military analysis done by people who know what they're talking about. That's what they're saying. I mean, everybody is saying this. Regarding the tankers that I said, like multiple media, multiple mainstream media outlets with experts are saying what I said. I'm just basically referring to that. I mean, if I'm wrong, then just blame the military experts. That's what I read. That's what I studied before the show. Oh, Shabbat Shalom. Wait. Oh yeah, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, Heavy Gretel saying all glory to the artificial intelligence. Yes, the YouTube algorithm. Again, there's only on this atheist channel, there's only two gods that we recognize, which is weird because we're an atheist channel. But there's two guys that we recognize as the YouTube algorithm and Mossad. These are the only two. The divinity of these two entities have been proven to us on this channel. One, because the YouTube algorithm works in mysterious ways. Both Mossad and the YouTube algorithm work in mysterious ways, which is very godlike. And both of them answer prayers. We don't know which ones, but sometimes they do. And they both seem to be seeing things, everything, things that no human is supposed to know. They know and they see. So those are the two deities we recognize here on this atheist channel. Oh wait, why do you dismiss the regional problem if regime collapse? I did not. In fact, we have had shows regarding how we could reduce the regional destabilizing effects from the toppling of the regime. And one of the most important ways that you could reduce the problems is by supporting Reza Pahlavi. Okay. If you are worried about the regional problems that could be caused from a regime collapse in Iran, then the best way to mitigate that and reduce the impact of that is by supporting Reza Pahlavi as an Israeli friendly politician, the most popular politician among Iranians, and also a friend to Israel, and somebody with a plan and a team to come in, fill in the power vacuum. So obviously, there's always going to be some chaos and cost with any regime change. But if you want to reduce it, then supporting Reza Pahlavi is the best way to do it. Oh my God, there's a missile alert in Israel right now. Okay, so let me just read the super chat, the remaining super chat, so you guys could go take shelter. Carl is saying, "Thy Armin, looking forward for your AI cult." Okay, we're making the AI cult, Carl, on my personal channel, on the Armin Navabi channel. So look that up. But guys, you guys, is there a siren? Siren alerts right now. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. You guys go take shelter. Okay. Guys, Israelis, stay safe. Stay safe. I'm gonna look in the news, see what's happening there. Maybe that's going to be our next stream if it's a big deal. Okay. I have a safe room. I'm okay. Okay, Amir is okay. Guys, stay safe. Stay safe. I love you guys. Please, everyone in Israel. I hope you guys are going to be okay. Wish you all the best. Am Israel Chai. Javicha. Stay safe, everyone. Bye, guys.